Hey there, friends, and happy Canada Day. I'm joining a group of crafty Canadian YouTubers, and we're celebrating this special day by featuring Canadian craft products, shops, and publications who have generously sponsored the day's event with over $1,000 in prizes. After you finish watching my video, please leave a comment for your chance to win, and then click on the link in the description below for the next person on the hop. If you get lost along the way, no worries. Head over to our host Emily Liepard's blog for all the details and a full list of participants. You'll find that link in the description below as well. So if you're ready, let's get started. Today I'm using products from Penguin Palace. I'm using the Stencils 360 tool along with a fancy gift bow stencil. There are lots of videos online about how to use this amazing tool, but today I'm just going to show you how I'm using the stencils to make a couple of beautiful cards. To start off with, I'm using the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch paper positioner along with a panel of the same size. I'm placing it into the paper positioner, but then I'm sliding the panel to the right a little bit so that my design will run off the left side of the panel. I insert the 8-inch guide ring into the tool, and then using some post-it tape, I'm going to actually secure the stencil to the guide ring so that everything moves when I spin the guide ring to the next position. I'm going to be using the 22.5-degree interval marker, which is a heart. I'm making an 8-color rainbow. I had to do a little pre-planning so that I would know which color I needed to start with based on where the stencil laid when it was in the first position. I'm using Catherine Pooler inks, and I started off with Something Borrowed. I blend over the open area, a little heavier at the center point, and I blend out until all the open area is covered with ink. Before I turn to the next interval, I wipe off the stencil with a microfiber cloth so I'm not contaminating my blending brushes or my project with the next color. I turn the guide ring to the next heart to the right, and I start blending the next color, which is Drive-In. Once again, I'm blending it a little heavier right in the center and softer as I move out to the edges. Each time you turn the guide ring, the stencil is actually masking over the area that you don't want to get more ink onto. The process is actually pretty simple. Ink blend, wipe, move to the next position, and blend the next color of ink. It's actually pretty fast once you get going. I'm speeding things up here a bit so that you can see what fun this tool is and not watch me ink blend. But I will definitely link up all the colors that I used in the description below and also over on my blog. But I ran through all the colors of the rainbow, so I think after the next part was Flirty Fuchsia, Pucker Up, Tutti Frutti, then Glitz, Garden Party, and the last color was in the Park. So that was about it. And I ended up making 4 panels, and so I have 4 more cards that I can make up. Sorry, I made 5 in total, 4 extra panels. Look at that when you pull the guide ring off. I did make 1 more card using the other 8-inch stencil from the set. I used the 45-degree interval to stencil with light blue ink, which is a solid triangle on the Stencils 360. To fill in the spaces, I used an aqua ink blended through the same stencil, but using the outline triangles, and it filled the spaces perfectly. To add even more interest to this cool background, I left it in place and I replaced the 8-inch guide ring with the 4-inch guide ring. Then the small 4-inch stencil was put into place, and I taped it down to the ring using some more post-it tape. I ink blended through the stencil the same rainbow of colors that I used for my first card, at the same intervals of 22.5%, and it is perfectly centered. I started with Pucker Up, and then the next color was Tutti Frutti, followed by Glitz, Garden Party, In the Park, Something Borrowed, Drive-In, and Flirty Fuchsia. Because the openings are a little bit smaller on this stencil, it's kind of hard to do sort of shading in the center going out, but I did the best that I could, but it ended up that the full coverage made a really nice impression at the end. So revealing this was definitely a wow moment. Thanks so much for hopping with me today. I hope I shared something that you like. As well as offering over $1,000 in prizes, a number of our sponsors are also offering coupons for their shops. I have them listed on my blog post, but you can also find them and all the other information about the hop on Emily's blog. Thanks for coming by and have a great day.